Hello, my students. Let me ask you something simple but powerful. What does the world taste like today? Because food is no longer just food. It's culture. It's identity. It's globalization on your plate. One minute you're eating McDonald's fries. The next minute you're tasting street food that carries 200 years of tradition. And that mix, that clash between fast food convenience and street food soul, is telling us something important about the world we live in. Today, you're not just learning English, you're learning the story of modern humanity through the food we eat. Why fast food became global, why street food refuses to die, and how our plates reveal the future of our culture. So stay with me till the very end, because the last part of this episode will open your eyes to the truth behind food culture today. A truth that says more about who we are than what we eat. This is Flexlish English, where learning English means understanding the world around you, one powerful story at a time. Part 1. The Global Plate: How Food Became a Universal Language. Food has always been more than fuel. It's a story, a memory, a piece of culture you can hold in your hands and taste. But today, food has become something even bigger, a global language that crosses borders, cultures, and generations. And nothing shows this better than the journey from McDonald's to street food, from giant chains to local traditions, from fast food convenience to handmade authenticity. Let's start with something simple. We live in a world where you can eat a Big Mac in New York, Tokyo, Casablanca, or Paris, and it will taste almost exactly the same. This is the power of global food chains. They create consistency, speed, and comfort. You know exactly what you're getting. But there's also something deeper happening beneath the surface, something that reveals how food culture has completely transformed in the last few decades. To understand today's food culture, we must go back to the roots. For most of human history, food was local. If you lived in a village, you ate what your land provided. Vegetables from fields, bread from your neighbor's oven, spices from your region, meat from local farmers. Food was slow, simple, handmade. But the 20th century changed everything. Industrialization made food faster. New technologies made food cheaper. And companies like McDonald's created a new system, a system built on speed, uniformity, and accessibility. Suddenly, food wasn't just a cultural experience, it became a business model, a global empire. McDonald's didn't just sell burgers, it sold a lifestyle: quick, affordable, predictable, modern. And people loved it. Families loved the convenience. Young people loved the vibe. Travelers loved the familiarity. Before long, fast food became a symbol of globalization, a sign that the world was becoming more connected, more similar, more standardized. But here's the interesting part. While fast food was spreading across the world, something else was happening at the same time. Something that no global chain could ever replace. Street food. Street food is the soul of a culture. Its history cooked in front of you. Its tradition passed down through hands, not manuals. Its flavor that comes from community, not corporations. If McDonald's represents globalization, street food represents identity. Walk through the streets of Bangkok and you'll find sizzling woks cooking pad thai next to temples. Walk through Marrakesh and you'll smell grilled lamb, fresh mint tea, and warm mizimen. Walk through Mexico City and you'll find tacos made with recipes older than the country itself. Walk through Istanbul and you'll taste simit kebabs, roasted chestnuts, food that carries centuries of stories. Street food is the heartbeat of a city. It shows you how people live, how they gather, how they share. It's messy, noisy, imperfect, and incredibly real. And here's the fascinating truth about today's world. Both fast food and street food are rising at the same time, not one replacing the other, but existing together, side by side. But why? Why are people eating Big Macs in the morning and searching for traditional street food at night? Why is our food culture so mixed, so global, so contradictory? The answer is simple. Today's food culture is a reflection of today's lifestyle. Fast-paced but nostalgic, global yet local, modern but craving authenticity. People want convenience, but they also want meaning. They want the efficiency of fast food, but they crave the soul of home-cooked meals. They want the comfort of global chains, but they search for the originality of local flavors. This is why food culture today is more diverse than ever. A teenager can eat ramen, tacos, pastries, and burgers in the same week and think nothing of it. A family can choose between sushi, pizza, biryani, or shawarma for dinner, as if the whole world fits on their plate. Food has become a passport, a way to travel without moving, a way to taste the world's stories in one city, one street, one afternoon. But beneath all this variety, there's a deeper movement happening, a shift in how people think about eating. People are asking new questions. Where does my food come from? Is it healthy? Is it ethical? Is it supporting local workers? Is it harming the planet? Food is no longer just flavor, it's identity, it's morality, it's self-expression. This is why the conversation between fast food and street food is so important. It reflects two sides of modern life: speed versus tradition, mass production versus handmade, globalization versus authenticity, comfort versus culture, and the truth is, we need both. Fast food isn't bad. Street food isn't superior. They're different answers to different needs. A busy worker may choose McDonald's because they have 10 minutes to eat. A traveler seeks street food because they want to feel the cultural heartbeat of a new place. A family picks fast food for convenience. A food lover picks street food for experience. Today's food culture is about choice, a huge buffet of global tastes available in almost every city. This freedom is new, exciting, and powerful, but it also raises big questions about health, tradition, and the future of food. Questions we'll explore in the next parts. Because behind every bite, whether it's a cheeseburger or a bowl of pho, there's a story about who we are, how we live, and what we value. Food culture today isn't just about eating. It's about understanding ourselves, understanding our world, and understanding how a single meal can connect us to billions of people or divide us from our roots. Part 2. Fast Food, the Empire That Changed How the World Eats. To understand food culture today, we have to talk about the giant in the room, fast food. Not because it's the best food or the healthiest food, but because it changed how the world thinks about food. McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Domino's, Subway, these aren't just restaurants. They are global systems, machines of consistency, architects of modern eating, and like it or not, they have shaped the way billions of people eat every single day. Let's travel back for a moment. The story of fast food began in the United States, a country that grew quickly and demanded speed, convenience, and efficiency. Life was changing. People were working more. Cities were expanding. Families were busy. America needed food that was fast, cheap, consistent, portable, always available, and fast food delivered exactly that. The genius of McDonald's wasn't the burger, it was the system. The idea that you could walk into any McDonald's anywhere in the world and receive nearly the exact same experience. Same taste, same smell, same menu, same speed. This consistency made people trust fast food. It became predictable in a world that was changing too quickly. But the impact of fast food went far beyond burgers and fries. It changed two deeper things. One, eating became faster. Meals used to be slow, social, shared. Families gathered. Food took time. There were rituals, cooking, serving, sharing stories. Fast food disrupted that. It introduced a new rhythm. Eat quickly. Back to work. Back to life. Food became a break, not an event. 2. Eating became standardized. Before fast food, every region had its own tastes. A sandwich in one village tasted different from a sandwich in another. Food carried the signature of the person who made it. Fast food erased this uniqueness. Recipes were measured, controlled, simplified, repeated. Flavor became formula. History became branding. Culture became product. It wasn't good or bad, just transformative, and people loved it. It made eating easier. It made choice simple. It made hunger predictable. Suddenly, fast food was everywhere, not just in America, but in Europe, Asia, Africa, the Middle East, Latin America. Billions of meals every day. A global empire built on speed. Fast food became more than food. It became pop culture. We started seeing it in movies, advertisements, music, airports, football stadiums. Fast food became part of childhood memories, family outings, road trips. The golden arches became symbols of modern life. But then, something changed. As the world became more conscious about health, environment, and identity, people started asking, is this good for us? What are we losing? What happens when speed replaces tradition? Fast food companies noticed this shift, and they adapted fast. They added salads, vegan options, grilled items, healthy menus, smaller portions. They rebranded themselves as modern, environmentally aware, culturally flexible. But even with these changes, one thing remained true. Fast food is designed for convenience, not culture. It feeds you, but it doesn't connect you. It satisfies your stomach, but not your soul. And that's where street food began rising again, not as a survival food, but as an emotional experience. Because while fast food corporations were expanding their empires, another movement was growing silently in the streets of the world. A movement toward authenticity, toward handmade flavors, toward cultural pride, toward food that tells a story. Street food didn't fight fast food. It simply offered something fast food could never offer: identity, history, humanness. Here's the truth. Fast food gives you predictability. Street food gives you personality. Fast food gives you the same taste everywhere. Street food gives you the taste of somewhere. Fast food gives you efficiency. Street food gives you connection. This is why modern food culture is becoming divided in a beautiful way. People will eat fast food when they're in a rush, but when they want meaning, they go to the streets. They want stories. They want flavor that comes from experience. They want dishes that were invented by grandmothers, not corporations. This shift is happening worldwide. In Seoul, people line up for tteokbokki carts at midnight. In Istanbul, simit sellers stand at every corner as the city wakes up. In Mexico City, the best tacos come from a man who has cooked them every day for 30 years, not from a chain restaurant. In Morocco, the heart of food culture still lives in markets where vendors grill, fry, and knead dishes that have existed for centuries. People realized something important. When you eat street food, you taste a piece of the city. When you eat fast food, you taste a piece of the world. And having both is what makes today's food culture so interesting. The modern eater is not choosing between McDonald's and street food. The modern eater is choosing when they need each one. Fast food is for speed. Street food is for soul. Fast food is for routine. Street food is for memory. Fast food is global. Street food is local. Fast food is business. Street food is culture. And this balance, this contrast, is shaping the way we eat today. But that's only one part of the story. The next question is deeper. What does food say about who we are becoming in this globalized world? Because today, food is not just what you eat. It's how you live, how you feel, what you value. And to understand that, we need to explore the world of street food more closely, which we will do in Part 3, a journey into the power, flavor, and identity behind street food culture. Part 3, Street Food, the Soul of a City. If fast food represents globalization, then street food represents identity. It is the taste of history, the smell of tradition, the sound of a culture living through its people. Street food is not just food cooked on the streets. It is a conversation between the past and the present. It is where recipes live longer than people, where flavors carry centuries, where one bite can teach you more about a country than any museum, book, or documentary. Let's travel for a moment. Close your eyes and imagine walking through a city for the first time. You smell something roasting, frying, boiling, steaming. You hear the sound of vendors calling, of knives hitting cutting boards, of woks exploding with heat. You see colors, spices, vegetables, meats, breads, sauces, and everything feels alive. That is street food, not just a meal, an experience, a story, a performance. Why street food matters so much. People don't go to the streets just because the food is cheaper. They go because the food is real, because it is cooked by hands that have mastered the art through years, not through corporate training manuals. Street food is emotional. It tastes like childhood, like home, like family, like culture. A grandmother making dumplings in Shanghai, a father grilling brochettes in Marrakesh, a vendor frying plantains in Accra, a man making tacos in Mexico with a recipe older than the country itself. Street food is the world's collective memory. It carries the DNA of humanity. Let's go around the world and taste it. Bangkok, Thailand. The smell of garlic, fish sauce, chilies, and lime fills the air. Pad Thai sizzling in hot oil. Mango sticky rice melting on the tongue. Street food here isn't just a business. It's a national identity, a lifestyle. Istanbul, Turkey. Simit sellers calling out as the sun rises. Fresh bread covered in sesame seeds. Doner turning slowly on metal rods. Turkish tea served in small glass cups. The flavors feel ancient, as if the Ottoman Empire still whispers through the spices. Marrakesh, Morocco. The Medina shakes with life. Harira simmering, sheep head steaming. Snails bubbling in aromatic broth. Msemen sizzling on metal plates. Mint tea pouring from high above the glass. Food blending Berber, Arab, Andalusian, and African histories in every bite. Mexico City, Mexico tacos al pastor carved with precision, tamales steaming in banana leaves, elote, corn, dripping with lime and chili, churros frying in hot oil. Street food here is poetry. It is color, flavor, passion, and fire, all in one bite. Tokyo, Japan. Takoyaki balls turning in round molds, ramen simmering for hours, yakitori grilled over charcoal, a culture of precision where even the smallest street stall holds deep respect for technique. New York City, USA, hot dogs on street corners, halal carts feeding millions, pretzels, pizza slices, Korean bowls, Jamaican patties, a global city where street food is not local, but international. Every nationality, every flavor, every dream. This is the beauty of street food. It is chaotic but organized, simple but rich, affordable but priceless. Street food is the world's real tourism. Have you ever noticed something? When people travel, they take pictures of monuments, but they remember the food, the tagine in the market, the noodle bowl on the sidewalk, the pastry they discovered by accident, the grilled meat cooked right in front of them. People may forget museums, but they never forget a flavor. Street food connects us to a place in a way that nothing else can, because it touches every sense: smell, taste, sound, sight, touch. It is the fastest way to understand a culture. Eat its street food, and you feel its soul. Street food teaches humanity. When you eat street food, you interact with real people. Vendors who wake up at 5 a.m. to prepare, mothers passing down recipes, sellers who learned their craft from grandparents, young people trying to support their families. Street food teaches respect. You learn to appreciate effort, skill, and tradition. Street food teaches humility. You sit with strangers. You make small conversations. You become part of the city, not a visitor. Street food teaches equality, rich or poor, tourist or local. Everyone eats from the same grill. Where fast food builds global sameness, street food celebrates local uniqueness. But why is street food growing so fast today? Because people are hungry for authenticity. In a world of mass production, people crave something real, something handmade, something with personality, something with a story. Young people especially have rediscovered the joy of local food, the crackle of frying, the sizzling of grills, the aroma of spices, the taste that doesn't come from factories, but from tradition. Food celebrities, documentaries, YouTube travel shows, and Instagram all helped revive street food culture. Street vendors became stars. Popular dishes became global trends. Street food went from cheap local food to the heart of food culture. But there's also a deeper reason. Humans evolved through sharing food. We built tribes, families, communities around meals. Fast food separated eating from sharing. Street food brings sharing back. When you stand in a crowded street stall, you feel connected, not only to the food, but to the humanity around you. That's something global chains will never replicate. Street food is not just a trend. It is a comeback. It's a comeback of culture, a comeback of identity, a comeback of flavors that refuse to disappear, a comeback of people realizing that food is more than calories. It is memory. It is art. It is love. It is history. It is belonging. But this beautiful food culture is facing a challenge. A modern world that demands speed, efficiency, safety, and hygiene. So how do street food and fast food survive together? How do they shape the future of eating? That's exactly what we'll uncover in Part 4, where tradition meets innovation, where flavor meets globalization, and where the future of food begins. Part 4. The clash and harmony when fast food meets street food in a modern world. We're living in a fascinating moment in food history, a moment where two worlds that once felt completely opposite now exist side by side. On one side, you have fast food, global, efficient, predictable, convenient. A system built to serve millions, operating like a well-oiled machine. On the other side, you have street food, local, handmade, chaotic, emotional. A system built on tradition, operating through human hands and cultural memory. For decades, people thought these two worlds were fighting each other, that fast food was killing street food, that globalization would erase tradition. But that isn't what happened. Instead, something more interesting, more human, occurred. The world didn't choose one, it chose both. And today's food culture is shaped by this combination, a combination of speed and soul, of convenience and authenticity, of global systems and local flavors. Let's break down how this harmony and this tension shapes the way we eat today. 1. People want speed, but they also want meaning. Today's modern lifestyle is fast. People work longer hours. Cities are crowded. Schedules are tight. Meals often happen between tasks, not at the table. This is where fast food wins. It understands the rhythm of modern life. It gives people what they need in the moment. Quick calories, predictable tastes, zero effort, but something else happened that fast food didn't expect. People no longer want only efficiency. They want connection. They want food that feels real, food that feels crafted, food that carries a story. This desire brought street food back to life in a powerful way. You can grab a McChicken in 2 minutes, but it won't warm your soul the way fresh biryani on a sidewalk does. It won't make you feel the way a Moroccan grilled kebab or a Thai stir-fry does. People realize that fast food feeds the stomach, but street food feeds the human spirit. 2. Global chains are borrowing from street food. Something very interesting is happening inside fast food kitchens. They are copying street food. Look at the menus. McDonald's releases limited street-inspired items. Taco Bell borrows from Mexican street stalls. KFC adds regional flavors in each country. Burger King uses spices and sauces inspired by local street recipes. Fast food is borrowing culture because it knows something important. Street food is powerful. Street food has emotional weight. It creates a sense of closeness, identity, and pride. It cannot be industrialized, but it can be imitated. And global chains know that modern customers want authenticity, even if it comes in a packaged form. This blending is shaping modern menus, dishes that taste like culture but are designed for convenience. 3. Street food is becoming more modern and more global. Street food is also changing. It's becoming more innovative, hygienic, and entrepreneurial. Vendors are not just cooks. They are becoming small business owners, social media creators, local celebrities. In many cities, street food is entering a new era. Cleaner stalls, professional branding, Instagram-friendly presentation, modern cooking equipment, fusion recipes, digital payments. Street food is evolving because it needs to survive in a world that demands safety and modernization. But it never loses its soul. It always stays handmade, emotional, and tied to culture. This modern street food movement is powerful. It blends tradition with innovation, just like fast food blends consistency with global taste. The result? A world where the future of food is a mixture of both. Technology is transforming how we eat. Food delivery apps, Uber Eats, Glovo, Deliveroo, Talabat, have changed everything. People now order food without speaking to anyone, without leaving home, without waiting in line. Fast food was the first to dominate delivery. But now, street food is joining the game. Vendors list their meals online. They deliver through apps. They reach customers who never walk past their stall. This digital bridge has connected the two worlds. Street food gains speed and convenience, while fast food tries to gain authenticity and flavor. We are seeing emerging a new hybrid food culture shaped by our screens and smartphones. Health consciousness is rising. Modern people care more about health, less sugar, less oil, less artificial flavor, more natural ingredients. Fast food tries to adapt. Salads, vegan burgers, baked options, calorie labels. But street food adapts more naturally because it uses fresh ingredients, real spices, handmade preparation, short cooking times, minimal processing. This doesn't mean street food is always healthier. Some dishes are very heavy, but it often feels more honest. Health-conscious customers choose street food for freshness and fast food for simplicity. Again, two different needs, two different answers. 6. The cultural meaning of food is changing. In the past, food was mostly about survival. Later, food became about family and tradition. Today, food is also about identity. People choose food that matches how they see themselves. I'm eating organic. I'm supporting local. I'm eating traditional. I'm trying international cuisine. I'm being healthy. I'm being fast. Food has become a lifestyle signal, a symbol of values, choices, and personality. This is why people take photos of food, why they share meals online, why they search for authentic experiences when they travel. Food became communication. Food became self-expression. 7. The future belongs to both worlds, not one. Some people think fast food will disappear. Others think street food will disappear. Both are wrong. The future of food culture is a hybrid. Fast food will become more local. Street food will become more global. Delivery apps will grow. Health consciousness will rise. Authenticity will stay valuable. Speed will stay necessary. Culture will stay central. Fast food is learning from tradition. Street food is learning from technology, and people are choosing both, depending on their mood, time, and values. This is the modern plate, a mix of the world and the neighborhood, the factory and the grandmother, the algorithm and the tradition. Food today is not about choosing one side. It's about having the freedom to taste everything. Next, we'll go deeper into the heart of this transformation. Part 5 will explore what food culture really says about our future, not just how we eat, but who we are becoming as human beings in a globalized world. Part 5. What food culture reveals about the future of humanity. If you want to understand where the world is going, you don't need to study politics or read economics or watch technology trends. Just look at how people eat. Food is the mirror of human life. It reflects our desires, our fears, our habits, our identity, our dreams. And the food culture of today, this mix of fast food, street food, global taste, and local pride reveals a world that is changing faster than ever. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. 1. We are becoming citizens of the world. There's a generation today that grew up eating pizza, sushi, tacos, ramen, burgers, shawarma, croissants, biryani, churros. They didn't have to travel. The world came to them through food. This is the first time in human history where a teenager in Morocco, India, Brazil, France, and Korea can enjoy the same foods with the same familiarity. Food has become a global language, and that means something powerful. We are learning to appreciate cultures that are not our own. We are becoming curious about the world. We are becoming more open, more connected, more aware. Food is teaching us global citizenship without any classroom. But at the same time, people are rediscovering their roots. For every person eating McDonald's fries, there is another person reconnecting with their grandmother's recipes. For every fast food brand expanding globally, there is a street vendor keeping a 200-year-old dish alive. For every global taste becoming popular, there is a local ingredient being protected. People realized something important. If everything becomes global, we lose what makes us unique. So the world is doing both, embracing modern food and protecting traditional food. This balance will shape the next era of humanity, a world that is connected globally but proud locally. Food is becoming a form of identity. Think about this. Some people say, I'm vegan, I'm keto, I'm halal, I'm organic, I'm into street food, I only eat local, I support small vendors. Food choices are becoming statements. People use food to express who they are, what they care about, what values they hold. Your plate is no longer just your meal, it's your lifestyle. This is why food culture today feels so emotional, so passionate, so personal, because it reflects the deeper questions of modern life. Who am I? Where do I belong? What do I believe in? What do I stand for? Food answers these questions in ways words cannot. 4. We are entering a future of fusion. The future of food won't be traditional and it won't be industrial. It will be fusion. Imagine Japanese tacos, Moroccan ramen, Indian pizza, Korean burritos, Turkish sushi, Thai burgers. This is not fantasy. This is already happening. Young chefs around the world are mixing ingredients from different cultures to create new identities through food. Food is becoming a playground, a laboratory, a creative art. Fusion is not just the future of cuisine, it's the future of humanity. Different cultures mixing, different ideas blending, different people living together. Food is showing us the future. 5. Technology will shape how we eat, but not what we crave. Delivery apps, robots, automated kitchens, AI-designed menus, technology will make eating faster, cheaper, and more convenient. But what people crave won't change. They want warmth. They want comfort. They want real flavor. They want human connection. They want food that tells a story. Technology can deliver food, but it cannot deliver soul. That's why street food will never die. That's why traditional cooking will always matter. That's why local flavors will always survive. Because food is human. Food is emotional. Food is memory. No machine can replace that. 6. The future of food culture is emotional, not logical. People don't choose food with logic. They choose with heart. Fast food is chosen for comfort and convenience. Street food is chosen for meaning and experience. Home food is chosen for memory and love. Fusion food is chosen for curiosity and creativity. Every choice tells a story about how we feel. Food will always be emotional, and that emotion will guide the future of food culture. 7. The biggest truth: food brings people together. In a world that is becoming more digital, more virtual, more disconnected, food remains one of the last real things that unites us. People may disagree on politics, religion, or ideas, but they can sit together for a meal. A shared plate is a shared moment. A shared moment is a shared connection. A shared connection is humanity. Food is the universal bridge. Street food brings strangers together. Fast food brings families together. Traditional food brings generations together. Food is the great equalizer. Everyone eats, everyone loves, everyone tastes, and that keeps us united in a world that often feels divided. The final truth: food culture today, from McDonald's to street food, shows us the story of modern humanity. A story of speed and soul, of globalization and tradition, of technology and memory, of convenience and culture, of individual identity and global belonging. Food is not just what we put in our stomachs. It is what we carry in our hearts, and the future of food is the future of us. So my students, after traveling from McDonald's to the streets of Bangkok, Marrakesh, Tokyo, Mexico City, and beyond, now you see the bigger picture. Food culture today isn't just about hunger. It's about identity. It's about tradition. It's about globalization, technology, and the human heart. Fast food feeds our fast lives. Street food feeds our souls. And together, they paint the story of a world that is changing but still deeply connected. If this episode opened your mind, if it made you feel the world through flavor, through people, through culture, then go back and listen till the end again. Let these ideas stay with you, because they explain a truth most people never notice. The future of food is actually the future of us. Thank you for listening to Flexlish English, where you grow your English, your awareness, and your understanding of the world. And remember, whether you're eating fast food or street food, every bite carries a story. Taste it, learn from it, and keep growing.